Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Any Thoughts Podcast. If you remember last week's episode, we talked about my dream vacation. This week, we are going to be talking about Becca's dream vacation.
As per the rules of last time, our vacation is more like we're going somewhere to live for like a year or something. So it's neither one of us have ever been out of the country. It's like we're taking it as like a once-in-a-lifetime trip. So the other places that I would like to visit would be Rome,
Ooh,
Venice,
okay.
Athens, London, New Zealand, Hawaii, and the Bahamas. And there's one particular place I want to go see in the Bahamas, which is the Atlantis Resort.
Ah, okay.
Which is really cool. If you guys have never seen what that looks like, check it out. It's really cool. But my dream vacation is actually to Japan. I would like to take a long vacation. Like I said, I want to start in Sapporo, in Hokkaido,
Is that...
to the north,
Okay.
and then end on the beaches of Okinawa in the south.
Wow.
So just take the long stretch of like the entire thing. And it's gonna take a long time to get through all of it.
Yeah,
Now, just know that there are a lot of things that I would like to see, a lot of things I would like to do, but I can't fit it all in this, obviously, so I'm gonna hit the highlights
okay.
from each one. So let's start out with Hokkaido. So in Sapporo, they are actually known for their chocolate.
Ooh,
So what you see, it looks like to me, it looks like a cheese sandwich. That's actually a biscuit,
okay.
and it is a butter cookie with white chocolate in the middle.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Sounds delicious, doesn't it? And it's supposed to be like the really soft cookie that you
Right.
barely bite into it and it just like melts in your mouth.
Okay.
This picture that I'm showing you is a chocolate theme park. And what they do over there, yes, they have a chocolate factory. This is like the highlight of going to Hokkaido.
Is this like Willy Wonka's chocolate?
Kind of, in a way. It's like their version of it, I guess.
Okay.
But this is like, of all the souvenirs you can get in Hokkaido, the cookie is what you normally get because they actually let you go into the factory and you can not only watch them create the chocolate, but you can make your own cookie.
Ooh.
So, it sounds like fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, that sounds fattening though too.
It does. But it sounds cool. Next, we're going to go to Kishiro Marshlands to see the red-crowned cranes
Yeah, you can see 'em
in
here.
their natural habitat. Because I see
Really-
them in the zoo, but
it's
they're
really
beautiful. Next is...
Hakadote.
He's helping me today because I have a migraine, so my pronunciation's all over the place.
Hakodate.
So
Hakodate.
this is Fort Gorigaku.
Goryokaku.
Yeah,
Goryokaku.
sure. Like I said, I'm sorry I'm butchering this. Normally I would do a better job with the pronunciation, but migraines gotta have migraines. So here we go. So this fort was built by a shogunate, and his name was Tokugawa, and he built it to protect against an invasion from a Russian fleet. Now, the way that this is built, it is a 5-pointed star
Right.
build with like a moat around
Yeah.
it. And they did this so there would be no blind spots to the cannons.
Yeah, I don't know if he got the idea from someone else or someone else got the idea from them.
He did get the idea from someone.
Okay, because the Spanish.
Someone in France.
Oh,
Apparently.
really?
Yeah.
Because the
someone in
Spanish
France.
have some forts like that, and actually, the fort we went to in Florida was a 5-star fort.
Oh, okay.
At what's that town?
Is it the same place that I screwed
Yeah,
up
we
last
struggled with it last time.
don't even.
St. Augustine.
St. Augustine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that fort is one of those like 5-sided star forts. or
But
whatever.
get this. They started, the idea of it came in 1855, but the project was not finished until 1866, so it took 11 years to build this thing.
What they build it out of?
Not sure.
Hmm.
But that is crazy to me. The idea from completion, and it didn't last that long. Apparently, they built it to protect from the Russian fleet,
Yeah.
and then they only needed it for like 2 years, and then it was over.
Hmm.
So they were like, "Oh, look, a great place to do the cherry blossom viewing." As you can see, they've planted cherry blossom trees
Yeah, I see
around
that.
it all. And they use it for the cherry blossom festival viewing a lot now.
What I like is the way the water, the moat around it is like perfectly like I don't
Yeah, I don't know how they
It's-
constructed it, but it's amazing.
man. Yeah, it's,
It's
like
super cool. It's a work of art.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So next we're moving on to Honshu.
Honshu, so
Yep.
that's the big island.
That's where Tokyo is, guys. So if you know Tokyo, that's the island that this one's on.
Tokyo. So where are we going first on Honshu?
The first place that we are going on Honshu is,
Aomori.
yeah,
Okay.
and we're going to visit the Yayoi Sato Observatory.
Okay.
Now, there's something special about this observatory, as you
Yeah.
can see from the picture. That's not paint.
No, that's
That is a rice field. What
Oh.
they do is they take 7 different types of rice plants and they arrange them to be, when they're in full bloom, they
Huh.
make those those paintings.
really.
Yes. And so what they will
Wow.
do is they will harvest in, I think it's August, and then they will start replanting and figure out what picture they want to make, and they will plant it all, and then in mid-June they're in full bloom. And actually this patty art, this rice patty art, is called Tonbo. If anybody has ever heard of Tonbo, that's what
Okay.
this is. It's rice
Hmm.
patty art.
Interesting.
So no paint. It's literally the color of the rice plants.
That's crazy.
Yes,
Well,
it's beautiful.
I think what's even crazier is the fact that there's like red and black in there.
Mhm.
And I'm like, wow, rice plants are red.
Right?
I mean even
It's
that
so
bright
cool.
yellow is like kind of wild because like the green makes sense and the light green makes sense.
To me, I thought it was like old school lawn art where they just cut it in patterns and then they spray paint it. No,
Mm.
that is literally a rice paddy field that they've planted the plants to when they bloom to make that image. That is fantastic.
That's wild.
I love it.
Like I can understand, like my brain can understand the dark green, the light green, and the yellow even are like plants,
Mm-hmm.
but the black and the red is what confuses my brain. I think.
It's amazing though. I love it. I literally was like blown away when I was like, that's plants?
That's wild.
What? All right, next we are moving on to Morioka,
Morioka.
and we are going to visit Takamatsu Park. Now, as you can see in the background, that is Mount
Okay.
Yashima, and it's like a ski resort. A lot of people
Hmm.
do a lot of skiing in this area.
We're gonna have to go snowboarding.
I want to go snowshoeing.
Have you ever snowboarded?
No, I want to snowshoe because I've never
Hmm.
done either snowboarding or snow. So I was like, I just wanted to go snowshoeing around.
Snowshoe.
Next is Akita. Now, the couple of places we're gonna visit here is Kakunadate.
Okay.
It is a samurai residence street, and these are actual like old samurai residences that are still there today, and you can go view them, and it's just like one street. Next is the Yokote Masuda Manga Museum.
Okay.
Now, this museum is actually based on Takayo Yaguchi. He is a manga artist. If you look in that picture there in the front, the little guy in the hat there, in the
Mhm.
straw hat, that is one of his earliest works. That anime/manga series is called Surikichi Senpai. And it's a series about a boy who's passionate about fishing. He
Hmm.
does like all of these tournaments
Oh, yeah,
and stuff like
I
that.
see the fish.
Yeah, but that's one of his most famous works. He has a lot of different works. So they
Hmm.
basically decided to like dedicate this to him. Actually, he
Right.
lived to see this. He died at like 81. He died
Oh,
like
wow.
I think in 2020.
That's pretty cool.
So the last thing that I'm going to talk about, Kari Tampo Nambe. It is a chicken hot pot, and all it is chicken and like pounded white rice
Hmm.
into like noodle things, and
Yeah,
then
I
it has
see the
like
chicken
mushrooms
here.
and yeah. So I think you would actually like
And
it.
then this is noodles.
hmm
Sounds good.
This
Then
is.
where are we going on Honshu?
We are going to Sendaya. We're going to
It's
visit
on the screen. If you're
Akiyu
watching YouTube.
Atoka Falls. And it is beautiful year round. Even in the winter when I tried to get a winter picture because it was really cool because the waterfall was still running and it had like, it was partially frozen over, but then you could see like the steam coming up off
cool.
of the rocks. It was so pretty.
Water from a hot spring?
I think it is.
Oh, but it gets cold enough where it freezes? Okay. Okay.
But it doesn't freeze completely, so it has like steam and bubbles.
So
it's really cool.
This is on the northern part of the island then?
Yes, I believe so.
So it's still up towards the north. Because I know, like, as we move further south, like by the time you get down to like Okinawa, which is our eventual goal, right? It's very warm down there, as compared to obviously this, where if it freezes, we're somewhere where it's fairly cold still. Pretty though.
This is on Soba and Sendai. This is the Akiyu
Koge
no Sato, which is the Akiyu traditional crafts village.
Nice.
So what they do is, this place literally is like a tourist town. So what they do is they will build like these little wooden dolls and do like these little paintings and stuff, and you can go in and you can check it out. And I think they had a couple of spots where you can make your own and take it home with you. All right, so next on our trip is Fukushima. The picture that you see in front of you is Imori Hill.
Okay.
It's Iimori for those that are listening to the podcast that want to look it up. This place is interesting because it has the history of the Bakuoka. The Bakuoka are 17 to 18-year-old sons of the Azuru samurai. They decided to join the 4th Battalion of the Army to fight, and unfortunately, it all died. So they have, I don't have a picture of it, but up those stairs and on that hill, they have a shrine dedicated to these kids.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it sucks that they died.
Yes.
But sounds like an interesting thing to go see.
Next up is the Niigata rice fields. This is the Hoshitoge
rice terrace.
So this reminds me of Studio Ghibli, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The rice fields and all that. I wonder if this is one of the places where they got the idea.
Maybe.
But this is one of those places that if I'm going to Japan, I want to see a rice field. So also in Niigata is the Toki Forest Park.
Ooh.
The picture that I've got for you right there is a toki bird.
Toki bird.
And that is actually a native bird to that area, and they are trying to make sure that they don't go extinct.
That would be bad.
So there's many different colors of these guys, but they basically have them inside of a park where you can basically go through, you can see their skeletal system, you can see like them stuffed, you can like read the history on a toki bird and their habitat and everything like that, and then you can see a bunch of them.
They look kind of like a
crane.
Yeah, is that what I was thinking of?
Or
I was thinking of the ibis, the ibis?
The ibis?
Ibis, yeah. Isn't that, then that's native to Louisiana?
Yep.
Yeah, they kind of look similar anyways. Not the same, but similar. Also in Niigata.
Yep, is the Hegi soba noodles. So soba is a noodle that you get and you dip it into a sauce and eat it. It's not like ramen, which is like, it's the soup with the noodles and the meat and all that kind of stuff. I know, we're making ourselves hungry.
Becca keeps showing me food.
They have tons of toppings you can put on these guys, but normally it's just like it's a dipping noodle soba thing.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it does. Now we are in Nagano.
Okay.
And this place, basically Ninja Town. They have a celebration that they do from April to November as part of a ninja celebration where they talk about the rich history of ninja. And if you go to the next slide,
okay,
you can visit the Nimpo Museum. It is devoted to the Tagakure ninja school. In the 12th century, a warrior from Nagano fled to Iga after fighting and losing his side of the war. And so he created a traditional bedrock of a ninja school here. So it has a lot of history with starting up schools. It has multiple buildings which showcase the tools and weapons that were used by the Togakura ninja. And they also have a ninja house where it has secret doors and passages that you can go through and you can like find your way into these little places.
Sounds cool.
Of course, they also will have shuriken, which are, for those who don't know what that is, that's throwing stars. They have a shuriken range where you can actually like throw shuriken and practice.
That sounds awesome.
That sounds amazing. But it also has clothes, tools, like replicas, furniture, like all kinds of stuff from this period. So it sounds incredible and amazing, and I would love to go see it.
It sounds really cool. I don't know how old the buildings are.
12th century,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it looks really cool.
Yep.
So that's actually like, that's older than some of the castles that are there in Japan. Because 12th century, for those that don't know how to convert that to like actual year, is the 1100s. So
That's old.
That's pretty old.
Very,
Because I
very
think
old.
a lot of the castles are like
13? I think it's the oldest. There's 1333. I read.
Yeah, which is the 14th century, which is like way newer than castles in like Europe.
Which I
and
think
stuff.
the old one, the 1333, is that white one that we have a model of over there.
Hajima?
Yeah, the Hajima Castle. Also in Nagano is the Forest Shrines of Tokakushi.
Togakushi. The trees look cool.
Yeah,
I will say
I
that.
chose this place because I was like, I thought redwoods were like the biggest trees.
I think they
These are huge.
These are huge, but I'm pretty sure redwoods are still.
But in anime, I always thought that like they drew the trees really big and just drew them really big. Apparently, they have these huge trees that I didn't even know they had, which is cool.
That's cool.
So the other thing that this area is popular for is seeing snow monkeys. You can go on a sightseeing tour, especially in the winter where they like to get in the hot springs. You've seen pictures probably online where they're sitting in the hot springs. They're like, "Oh, this was so good."
Yeah.
This is Nagano that they take those pictures.
I will come within like an eighth of a mile of one. For those that don't know, I do not like monkeys or gorillas or apes or anything, because the problem that I have is I've seen too many videos where like they don't understand how strong they are, and the people are like, oh, they're really nice and friendly, and then all of a sudden it like rips their face off, and
Yeah.
you're like, well, it was nice and friendly till it ripped your face off.
Next, we are in Mito. We are checking out the Karakuen
you
Gardens. Yeah, I had a little trouble about that.
Sound it out.
So this place was built in 1841 by a local lord. This is the cool part. Most of these botanical type gardens, they were built by lords and used only by lords. This was the first place that was built for the public and the lord to use.
Oh, wow.
And these trees that you see around that are, unfortunately, I couldn't find a good picture that had the trees in full bloom. But
Right.
most of those trees that you see, they're plum trees, which they love to make plum
okay.
wine out of. This is a really cool place because this is one of the few gardens that were built to be used with the public. The name actually means enjoy the park together.
That is pretty cool, because yeah, you don't hear about that too often. A lot of times it's just like, all right, well, I'm the lord, now serve me, or I will have my samurai kill you.
Now we are moving on to Tokyo.
Tokyo!
right.
I'm sure there's a lot of stuff in Tokyo.
Oh, there's a ton of stuff in Tokyo.
Oh my god. We're gonna be
There's
in
so
Tokyo
much
for
stuff. This is the Meiji Jingo Shrine,
Jingu.
which I believe is like, I don't. 'Cause
It's the what?
I thought it had to do with like if it was male or female because it's Jinga and Jingu.
Oh,
I think it has something to do with that because you'll see Jinga and then you'll see Jingu.
interesting.
So I think that this is, since it was built dedicated to a male, it's Jingu instead of Jinga, I think.
Huh.
It's always shrine name, Jingu or Jinga, and then shrine. Not sure if we're even going to keep any of this in here because that was more of an aside.
Some gee whiz facts.
This is a shrine that was dedicated by Emperor Meiji and his wife, and it was placed in a man-made forest. So all the trees that you see around it aren't natural. They were built in.
Wait, so they're not real trees?
No. They're real trees, but they weren't naturally there.
Oh, so
They planted them around the shrine. So it wasn't of a natural place that was there.
Interesting.
Next is the Shibuya Crossing, which you will see in every single anime in existence. This can have up to 3,000 people crossing at one
I recognize it from somewhere else, Becca.
where? Oh, Tokyo Drift.
Fast and the Furious
Yep.
Tokyo Drift. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's where like 5 different roads actually come together or something. So it's like a really weird cross
It's huge.
thing. Alright, I feel like I know this one. Akihabara?
Yes, this is Akihabara.
Oh boy.
What is this, Stan? I'll let you do this one.
Well, this is where all things, I guess, otaku would be. This
Anime,
is
manga, games.
manga, all that stuff. It's
Yep.
all in
all here.
Akihabara.
Yep.
They have like cosplay conventions down there, all kinds of stuff like that. It'd be cool to see.
Yep.
Definitely.
Next up, we're doing the Ghibli Museum, which for those of you that are not familiar with anime type things, there's a studio called Studio Ghibli that was created by Hayao Miyazaki, Toshio Suzuki, and Isao Takahata. And they are the founders of the company. So it showcases their work. And so it has like Castle in the Sky, which is the robot on the right.
Yep.
And then on the left is Totoro from My Neighbor Totoro. And I think the Soot Sprites are also from that movie as well, right?
No.
And those are, no?
Where are the Soot Sprites from?
I thought it was from, no, it is from Totoro, right?
No, the Soot Sprites.
No, they move them, they use them in multiple things.
Well, they're mainly from.
Because they're a legend.
Yeah.
Because
but-
they're supposed to be like good luck in your house.
That is true. The place I know them mainly from is Spirited Away.
Yeah, they use them in that factory, but they use them in a lot of their stuff. But yeah, go check this place out. This is really cool. And if you're not familiar with the Ghibli movies and you like anime, please check out Studio Ghibli films. They're really, really good.
Yeah, they're super good.
Next up on our list is visiting Toei Animation Museum in Nerima City, which is still in Tokyo. It's just like a part of it. And
Like
it's
a
known,
suburb.
yeah. So it's known for titles such as Dragon Ball series, which you see Goku and Vegeta on the screen. But it's also known for One Piece, Sailor Moon, Dragon Quest, and Digimon. So they're known for quite a few that a lot of first timers are like, oh, I know this series.
I've watched 2 of those.
Which ones have you watched?
Dragon Ball and
Mhm.
Sailor Moon.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know I watched Sailor Moon?
No, I did not. I know One Piece, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon. Never watched it though, but I know the characters when I see them.
Well, I didn't watch
And
all
Digimon.
of Sailor Moon. I watched some of Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I really didn't get in. Like, there's nothing wrong with Sailor Moon. I just didn't. It just wasn't my thing. I like channeled my full like Saiyan into the Dragon Ball series.
Yeah. Nice.
I love Dragon Ball series. It was good. Next up, we're visiting the Polytechnic University to see the Suginami Animation Museum. Now, this takes a look at the history of anime, starting from Mighty Anton in 1963 was the first one, and all the
Mighty Atom.
did I do it wrong? Okay.
Yeah, you're fine. Mighty Atom in 1963
Yeah,
to present
To
day.
present day.
Cool.
And if you're curious what the anime is that the little blue guy is from that's up in the corners, he is from an anime called Doraemon, Doraemon, and it's a really cute series.
Doraemon.
Yeah, Doraemon. Thank you. All right, while you're in Tokyo, if you were a Pokemon fan, which it was like my first anime was Pokemon, like way back in the day with like, I dragged my parents to see the first Pokemon movie in theaters and they hated it.
Pokemon.
So that was me. That was my childhood, was the original. And they have several different Pokemon centers that you can go see. They have Pokemon Center DX and the Pokemon Cafe. They have the Pokemon Center Mega Tokyo and Pikachu Suites. They have Pokemon Center Shibuya.
Yep.
They have Pokemon Center Skytree Town and Pokemon Center Kyoto Bay. Now, Skytree, let me go to that because I actually did not include that slide in here because this is really cool. Look up Skytree, what a Skytree is, on Google. And it is a broadcasting and an observation tower in Tokyo. It is 634 meters or 2,080 feet. It is the tallest tower in the world.
We climb up it?
You can. It has an observation deck at the top.
I'd go up it. I
I
don't think
wouldn't.
Becca would.
Last
Tokyo.
stop for our Tokyo tour
Okay.
is the Sanrio Gift Gate, which we're going here for a certain person.
Yes.
My best friend is a huge Hello Kitty fan, and this
Hello,
is
Kristen, if you're
literally
watching.
yeah, this is literally they have several shops, but this one is like the nicest and biggest.
Nice.
As you can see, they have a lot of it translated into English because a lot of people visit Tokyo and want to go see this.
Tax-free. Nice.
Yep. That little monument that's sitting out front is supposed to be like a really old little stone monument. And it's supposed to be the biggest one of its kind, which is another
Interesting.
reason I chose this place.
Oh, okay.
Before we move on, Dan, I left this as an aside for you.
Yeah, so apparently
To the northwest of Tokyo is
in Zama
is a certain little place that Dan would love to go
is
visit.
something that we're probably going to have to make a detour for when we're there. It's the Nissan Motor Company
Museum.
Yep. And I am a huge Datsun Nissan fan, so those are my cars.
Next stop is Yokohama. And here...
Like the tires?
Is it?
Yeah, you've never heard of Yokohama tires?
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah, Yokohama makes tires.
Really?
I mean, I would assume they're probably somewhere in Yokohama.
But here...
Side fact.
Yeah. Here in Yokohama is the Cup Noodles Museum.
Ooh, ramen.
Yeah, ramen. So this place actually has it. I have not showed you the inside. This is the outside from the street view. But when you go in, they have like the different noodles and like sauces and stuff in the packs, and the toppings that are like dried. You can like mix and match your own toppings and stuff, and then like go stick it in the microwave and make your own ramen. It's really cool. Also on the ramen, they have.
Wait. Is Yokohama just like the ramen capital of the world?
But
because like I thought they made tires there too, apparently, but
it's
apparently
literally tires and ramen.
Apparently it's just tires and ramen.
I wonder if they serve ramen in a tire bowl.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
But also in Yokohama, the Shin Yokohama Ramen Museum.
Okay.
Which here you can try every single flavor of ramen that they have in existence.
To include cup noodle?
I don't know about cup noodle, but I mean, well, okay, I should say not pre-packaged. This is like an actual restaurant you can go in, and it's like professional chefs that do ramen like for a living.
Ah, okay.
So it's literally like you can try any type of ramen in the world. Well, okay, from Japan, because that's where they have it.
Any type of ramen in the world from Japan. Now we're getting very specific, I feel like. You can try any type of ramen in the world from Japan in Yokohama.
So, you can literally be hashtag living the Naruto Uzumaki life for a day.
Nice.
Now we are moving on to Nagoya.
Ooh.
And here, Dan...
I see cars.
Yeah, yep, you see cars. This is the Toyota Commemorative Museum of Industry and Technology. I struggle busting through these words today, but I hope it's entertaining to you guys.
It's the Toyota Commemorative Museum of Industry and Technology, Becca.
This is literally like you can go and see the building factory and how it works, and
that's
like
pretty cool.
How they build the cars. They also have like some of their showcase cars, as you can see.
I see
in
some
the
really
forefront.
cool stuff in there.
Yep.
There's like that's
Make sure you say what color the car is.
this yellow car in the very front.
It's not. Isn't it Nissan? That would be fine.
No, it's a Lexus.
It's a Lexus, really?
Well, Lexus, Toyota owns Lexus.
Ah.
So that yellow car right there is a Lexus. Now where are we headed?
Still in Nagoya.
Nagoya.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So, if you are in Nagoya in July and August, you will see cosplayers everywhere because they are attending the World Cosplay Summit.
World Cosplay Summit.
Yes. These
Okay.
are like serious cosplayers that come and they compete, and it is a huge deal.
And then now we're headed out of Nagoya, right?
Yep, we're going to Kyoto. All right, so to Kyoto, I'm basically assigned to some homework to basically check out some like stuff that is like very like Japanese, like you have to see it. It's very traditional. So the first thing that we would do is attend a tea ceremony. So the next thing that I want to do is walk through the Arashiyama bamboo groves.
Looks like something out of like a movie or something.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure that they've put this in movies.
They had to.
They probably
I
have.
feel like I've seen it in movies before.
Yes, but you see bamboo groves that they put in zoos all the time. Well, this is the actual thing.
Interesting.
Next up is I would like to attend one of their flower arranging classes. And as you can see, the different arrangements that they got, this is a special arrangement called an akibana.
Ikebana?
Ikebana.
Ikebana.
but they're very
An
like
icky banana.
they're
I'm
very
kidding.
different. Like they're not a normal like American put a bunch of roses and stuff together and it's like a huge bunch. It's literally like flower art. And they're very pretty, and the vases are like much bigger than the actual arrangement themselves, but they're gorgeous.
Like a bonsai.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I would like to do is see a Kimbu demonstration. Kimbu is a sword play like match, but it's not an actual match. It's done as a dance. Beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's slow paced, but they're all dressed up, and then they go around and they do like sword positions and they do clash swords, but it's not a huge like match.
Sounds cool.
It's pretty. And then sometimes they'll have women in it, but they'll use fans.
Interesting.
Kyoto International Manga Museum is the last stop here in Kyoto. And this place is cool because it's not your traditional like museum,
Right.
because it's more like a library.
Yeah, it looks like you can sit down.
Yeah. If you're watching the YouTube video, or if you're looking this place up on Google, you can see that they have places to sit, and then they have like, it's broken down into different like categories. And I'm wondering if that 02 is like most popular mangas or most recent mangas or something. I really didn't.
Manga Lifetime Chronology.
Interesting.
And then the one behind it is 5, which talks about the making of manga.
Oh. So they break it down into like
Yeah.
how it works, which is cool.
Interesting fact.
Okay.
Did you know that Kyoto was the original capital of Japan,
And now
they
it's
moved the capital to Tokyo,
Oh.
and Tokyo means like new Kyoto.
Interesting. Moving on.
So moving on,
Now we're in Kobe.
Kobe.
This is the Shukugawa Park, and actually, this is literally right off of a bullet train. If you take a bullet train to this little area you see is like right behind the last bend where the waterfall is coming down. That's actually a bullet train track that runs across that. But this is
what caliber?
Jeez, I don't know.
Is it like a 380?
I have no idea.
Or is it like a big bullet, like a 45?
I don't know.
Okay.
Depends on which one you get on, probably who's driving it.
Well, actually, we're in a country that uses metric, right? So it's probably like a 9mm or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But this is a really common place for people to view this cherry blossom celebration, which is in the spring, for those of you who don't know. But the entire country basically has a cherry blossom festival everywhere. But if you're here in Kobe in the spring, that's a good place to go view it.
Interesting.
All right, so we are in Hyogo. And the first place that I chose in Hyogo is the Nijijin no More, which is an island anime park. If you love anime, come check this place out. It has Naruto World. It has Dragon Quest Island. It has Godzilla Land. And for those who are like really old fans of anime and remember this, they have Crayon Shin-chan Adventure Park, which is a lot of climbing I saw. And I think they changed this other one out. Right now it's an anime called Grand Chariot. Which to be honest with you, I don't know anything about that one.
Never heard of it.
It's a newer one, so I'm guessing they switched this out. And then right now they also have the Night Walk, which I have a picture for you guys up there. Think of it as a Christmas light viewing, but it's year round. And it's different shapes and it's through woods. It's really pretty. Next part is Mount Roko, which the picture that you see right there, it's actually a garden terrace, but it's home to the first Japanese golf course. So it has a viewing area on the back, but it has a golf course throughout here.
Wait, so you play golf on the top of a mountain?
Yes.
That sounds dangerous.
Doesn't it?
I'm not gonna. I've played many games of golf, and playing one on top of a mountain sounds dangerous.
Or kill somebody at the bottom of the mountain.
Hold on, I lost my ball over the edge of this ravine right here.
This also has the Himeji Castle. This place is cool because it was built in 1333. It's like the oldest one to date. It has been renovated I don't know how many times over the years, but it's a fort. They call it a castle, but it's a fort. It was built by Akamatsu Norimaru, a samurai of the Akimatsu clan that later became a shogun. That's when he built this.
Ashikaga Shogunate.
Yep.
Nice. So I'm assuming that was like his thing to defend his
territory.
main territory.
Yes.
Nice. So now we're headed to where, Becca?
Osaka.
Osaka.
Yep. Now, the first thing that I have on our list to do here is the Osaka Aquarium. It is an 8-story aquarium with 16 primary exhibits depicting areas from around the world.
Yeah, look at the people standing there in front of
Yeah, the people look like ants compared to this. For those that are not familiar with this area of the world, they have diving exhibitions you can go on to swim with whale sharks over here. Every single aquarium you go in Japan has a whale shark. Except for the really, really tiny ones. But the big ones like this one, there's whale sharks. Alright, so next is this crazy looking thing, which is the Namba Yasaka Shrine.
Yeah.
It is home to the Shinto tug-of-war ritual, which, those of you who are not familiar, that's like the original religion of Shinto, right? So it is home to the tug-of-war ritual, which started like this. The tug-of-war is used to resemble a snake with 8 heads and 8 tails, symbolic with the myth of an enshrined deity who killed the snake and purged it of the hardships of the people.
They like actually do a tug-of-war thing here?
During certain times of year, yes, they will have tournaments for tug-of-war. It's really cool.
Interesting.
Last thing, and Dana's like, ew, this is gross.
I see octopus.
Yes. I put octopus there on the pictures for a reason.
No.
This, I would love to try takoyaki, which is the picture on the left. It's octopus slices with ginger and spring onions, and it's rolled in dumpling batter, and it's kind of like fried. And they put mayonnaise and like sauce and I think it's powdered seaweed on top. I've always wanted to try it. You see anime all the time at festivals and they pick it up with like a toothpick thing and they eat it. I would love to try it. And then the other thing I would like to try is Aki no Miyayaki. I think I pronounced that right. Forgive me if I didn't, guys.
Okonomiyaki.
Yes. It is a pancake with cheese, tomato. You can have pork or shrimp or octopus again.
It's a what now?
It's a pancake.
It's a pancake.
With cheese.
With cheese.
Yes.
And pork.
And you can get it with pork, you can get it with shrimp, you can get it with octopus, which I know you won't get, but you could get it with pork if you want. And they top it with this brown sauce and mayonnaise and powdered seaweed, and it looks delicious.
Okay, so now we're on a new island, right?
Yep. Shikoku.
Shikoku.
Correct. The only place really to visit there is the big place anyway is Kochi.
Kochi.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is a very historical place. This is Katsurahama Beach. You can see traditional pine groves here, which sound really pretty to me. But that statue on the left, Sakamoto Ryoma, he was a samurai who basically was like during this time the shogunate decided that they did not want to have influence from other countries, and they like shut trade off to like the bare minimum of letting people in and out, and he didn't like that, and he wanted to call for democracy, so he was a samurai that fought for this.
Now we're going to where?
Kyushu. This is the Itsukushima Shrine. And this is a very important place for Shinto.
It's in where? Hiroshima?
It's in Miyajima Island.
Oh.
It's on Miyajima.
Okay, so it's near,
in Hiroshima.
Near Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's close enough that they're like, take a boat.
Yeah.
But this shrine is renowned as a visual presentation of the religion of Shinto. The other thing that I want to check out in Hiroshima is the Hiroshima Castle. It was originally built in 1590, but it was destroyed in the bombing in 1945. And an exact replica was built in 1958 to serve as a museum of the history before World War II.
Too bad that it got messed up.
Yep.
Apparently Hiroshima is also where the Mazda Museum is, which is like, if I couldn't get Nissan,
Mm-hmm.
then it would have to be a Mazda.
Nice.
That'd be my second choice.
Nice.
Because the rotary engines, those are the bee's knees, man. Now where are we headed, Becca?
Now we are in Fukuoka. Here in Fukuoka, you can check out the
Akata Machiya.
Folk Museum.
Yep.
Yeah. It is a tourist attraction that offers a look into Japanese culture and traditions from the Meiji period, which, if you don't know when that is, it was from 1868 to 1912.
Wow.
And the Taisho period, which is from 1912 to 1926. And they actually have pictures showing the attire, like how it changed.
Interesting.
For like the dressing and how people dress differently. So that's really, really
The Meiji period covers like way bigger.
Yes.
period.
I think that's because of the restoration. Here you can watch artisans work, and you can also try it yourself. And as you can see in the pictures here, they have like the really cool wooden dolls that are not just the painted ones, but the actual like kimono attires and stuff. But they also have like quilting work, and
I see the weaving machine
Yep.
there in the background.
and they have fans. But the cool thing about this place is you can try it yourself.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
So you can try all this stuff and check it out. Also here is the Kushida Jinja Shrine. This is dedicated to their sun goddess. And her name is Amaterasu. And her brother is the god of the sea and storms, Sushuno no Mikoto. That's the second person it's dedicated to, is him. And then the third god that it's dedicated to is the god of nation building, agriculture, medication, and protective magic. And his name is Okun in Shumi no Kami, which Kami means God.
Kamehameha.
Yeah. So it's dedicated to 3 gods, but the first one is a goddess, which I think that's why Jinja is on there.
Right.
So now we are in a completely different place.
Nagasaki.
Yes, and for those of you who are watching on YouTube, why is the background color purple?
Purple.
It's for a reason, because this is a very unique place. Where we talked about earlier about them fighting for having like trading within Japan from other countries.
Mhm.
This was the only place for a long time that Japan could actually get trade from other countries into.
Right.
And surprise, surprise, the 2 countries that they could actually get imports from was one was China, and the other was from Dutch people.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at the first slide that I have here, this Huestin, help me, I don't.
Huestin Bach.
I'm guessing that's a
Or Bosch.
Dutch
It's
pronunciation. This is a theme park that recreates a Dutch town. So if you're looking at this and you're like, that's not Japan. Trust me, I looked it up too because I was really confused. This is a Dutch town that they've built here. The next thing is the second place that I mentioned is Chinatown. Shinchi Chinatown. It's here because of the open port, and like I said, only Chinese and Dutch traders were allowed to use the port, and the rest of Japan was closed off because, yeah, this was in 1603 to 1867.
So this is pre-Meiji period. This was the Tokugawa
Yes, this is Tokugawa period.
period. Gotcha.
So that's when it was shut off. But the importance here is that these were the only 2 countries that could have trade here. And the reason was because they did not want, mainly the shoguns, they were like a military type government. They were like secretly running the country over the emperor.
Right.
So they did not want westernization at all. So they were like, no, only China and the Dutch can trade with us. And they're only allowed in Nagasaki, and that's it. You're not allowed to go anywhere else, but you can be in Nagasaki. But they wanted to do that to keep European politics influence out and a certain religion from getting into the country, which is Christianity.
Because they were either Shinto or Buddhist, right?
Correct.
Becca, this one seems like it doesn't tie into Dutch.
Correct.
Or
Which I added this because it was very interesting. So, as I said before, they only allowed Dutch and Chinese in for trading, okay? Then they had this whole thing in around 1865-ish.
Oh, so towards the end.
Yes, towards the end, where they were like, we're fighting for more freedom of trade, so we'll let some people in. And it was this Catholic church was constructed in the Gothic style, and it was created by a priest named Bernard.
So Bernard Pétagine
of Fier.
Of Fier.
Yep. It is the oldest wooden church in Japan.
Wow.
Next stop on our little journey is Miyazaki.
Miyazaki
is home to the first emperor of Japan, which is Emperor
Jingu.
Yeah. And that's his picture there on the left.
In the yellow here?
Yeah, that's Emperor Jingu. We would start at this museum that you see there, which is the Miyazaki Prefectural Museum of Nature and History, to learn the history and culture of the area before visiting the other areas, because I want to learn a bunch of this stuff before we move on. If you look on that picture on the very right there, it has some old farmhouses that are still original.
Wow.
From the olden days. So you can actually see how the little tiny houses they used to live in that was built out of wood. Now, I believe that roof, that roof is not original because it would have been a thatched roof.
Right.
I was going to say that. But I thought that was cool.
That's pretty cool. I wonder how old that is.
Not sure.
It probably predates.
Probably tells you.
Well, it probably predates, like, all those castles and all that stuff. I would imagine this is probably like really old.
Also on this little area here in Miyazaki, they have the Udo Shrine. It was built in honor of Emperor Jingu, and it's on a cliffside inside of a cave.
Interesting.
Which is like the only one that I know of that's like that. So I thought that was really cool.
It's kind of wild.
This is
Florante Miyazaki.
So this is a year-round flower garden park. So they plant different plants so it stays in bloom year-round. But they also, as you see on the picture to the right, around Christmas they do light shows, and good grief, do they light this place up. Each of the flowers in the flower bed are lit up. It's crazy, but it's really pretty.
Ooh, what is this thing, Becca?
All right, now we are in Takachiho.
Takachiho.
And this is the Takachiho Gorge. This is a V-shaped volcanic gorge formed by rapidly cooling of lava.
Rapidly cooling of lava.
Today, you can take a rowboat down this river, which is called Gokase River, to see the river. There's waterfalls, as you can see everywhere. And actually, if you take that riverboat down, or you can drive to it, I think you can get to this shrine, which is the Takachiho Jinja Shrine. According to legend, this is where the sun goddess Amaterasu hid in a cave due to anger and refused to come out, thus leaving the world in darkness. Now, you read something about this, and it was like the year where the sun was not in Japan.
It was called like the year without a sun, and it was in like 536 AD, I think. And basically something they don't know exactly what happened because there's not well documented history back then, but basically probably some volcano or volcanoes, plural, erupted and covered like basically Europe, the Middle East, and pretty much all of Asia with like this massive cloud. And like people died by like not by the thousands, but probably by the hundreds of thousands.
It killed their crops too.
Like the crops all died out. It was famine. Yeah, it was bad.
Taking that idea onto this, so they say that the sun went away, so she hid in a cave due to anger, and the other gods and goddesses tried to persuade her to come out, but nothing was working until one of the goddesses decided to perform this really weird provocative dance that made everyone laugh, which is they had the mask on in the picture in the right of the bottom right down there. And what happened was, apparently Amaterasu was like, still in a bad mood, won't come out of the cave. And she hears this laughter and she's like, what's going on out there? So she comes out and the light returned to the world. So that's the story behind this. The dance is called Yakagura. It's called the night dance. And you can actually see the entire story if you're there from mid-November to mid-February. There's 33 episodes of this thing, and you can go to this shrine, and I think it's every Saturday evening, and they do the episodes for 33 weeks of this. So it's cool.
Nice.
Next stop is Kirishima, which if you were there in July, which I would love to be for this, they have the
lantern.
Yep, they have the Rakugatsudo Summer Lantern Festival. Now, I love paper lanterns, but most of the paper lanterns are like, fake compared to what because they're really like these traditional ones are made out of 3 types of tree bark, like inner bark of 3 trees.
Interesting.
The kanzu, the matsumata, and the gempo tree. The paper is made from all 3 of those trees, and you can actually paint on it, and it has like a yellowy texture to it instead of white. And the lanterns, the paper that this is made of is called washi, if you want to look it up. It's WASHI paper. So it's made out of those 3 trees. And what they do is they do it at different shrines and stuff. You can go to a shrine nearby and they have like a traditional festival set up. But they have the painted characters for just regular characters. As you can see, they have fish painted on those. Or they have kanji or hiragana, katakana painted on some other ones. So I thought that was really cool. Final place to stop for this area is the Kirishima Onsen, which is a hot spring resorts town. Now, this one's really famous because it has over a dozen hot springs feeding into the area, which is why you see in the picture there's smoke everywhere.
Nice.
So you have like a ton of different hotels and...
sounds relaxing.
Yes, which is why I picked it for towards the end of our tour. But you can do indoor baths, outdoor baths, foot baths, different salt baths, and it's really, really neat. Now, we are in Kagoshima. So this first place here is the Shinjin-in Garden. It was dedicated to a lord in 1658. It's one of those that was closed to the public until recent years.
So this is not a public open one like the one before.
Correct. Well, it is now. You can go visit it now.
Okay.
But most of these gardens that I'm telling you about, like this one, it was back in the day, they dedicated it to a lord, and only the lord and his family were allowed to be on the property. Because a lot of times they would actually build a house on the property.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't want people trespassing through your backyard.
Correct.
Right?
So now they have this open, but that one actually had it open to everybody.
That'd be cool.
Next is the Museum of the Meiji Restoration.
Okay.
Which I think I mentioned a little bit of this earlier. This is the end of the shogunate control. So trade was fully open to Japan.
Tokugawa period.
Correct.
Ended.
So this was when trade was fully open to all the other countries, and it began the immigration of westernization into Japan.
In 1868.
Yes. So, like I said, it gave the control back to the imperial rule. So it gave it back to the emperor, and instead of the military government, which was the shogunate. So, if you want to learn about samurai, this is the perfect place to go because you can learn how they live, their education system, about the rebellion that they rose up, and you can learn about their swords. And then you check out the Kagoshima City Museum of Art. Now, this place I picked because it has paintings of the Sakurajima, which is a volcano for those of you who are not familiar with it, dedicated from the 16th century, hanging in this place.
So the 1500s. Wow,
yes,
that's crazy.
But they also have fine porcelain, which you can see on the right, and this was cool, woodblock printing on the left. That you can see is an old style of being able to do that before the printing press was invented. So you take you draw something and make it cuts out of wood where it has the indentions. You pour ink over it, you put a piece of paper, you rub that thing on top of it, you lift it up, and there's painting. And there's Mount Sakurajima, the volcano.
Wow.
So you can always see that too. And it's most of the island, I think, that little area. Because you can see the buildings at the bottom compared to it.
I see that.
And it's massive.
We're going to hike up that thing or what?
I don't know if you can hike all the way up because I think it's still kind of active.
Ooh, can we go up there and throw the ring in?
Oh gosh. Throw it in, Frodo!
Sorry, my nerdness is showing. So we've been on Kyushu for a while.
Yes. Now, on our last stop of our tour, we are in Okinawa.
Okinawa.
Mm-hmm.
So, Okinawa is what, the southernmost island?
Yes. Okay, so all the other areas that we've covered are big islands. Okinawa is like, comparatively to the US, it's Hawaii. Speaking of Hawaii, at this place, which is called the Okinawa Churami Aquarium, they have the picture on the right there. I know you can't see it very well, but it was the only one I could find that would fit there. That is called a false killer whale.
Interesting.
And it's something between a killer whale the size of a dolphin, and it's mostly in black. And it has like the orca's like shaped head instead of like the bottlenose stick out face. But they're actually native to Hawaii. But they're also on the endangered species list.
So they're a dolphin?
Yeah, they're a porpoise.
Okay.
This is the Sea Turtle Museum of
Kumejima?
Kumejima, yeah. So this one I picked for Dan.
That's a cute turtle.
I think they most of these are actually, they take care of them and release them back into the wild because they've had injuries.
I see them in the tank in the back. I'll pet it.
And the very last thing is the Kabiro Bay in Okinawa, the glass bottom boat tour. So Dan's like, this sounds really terrifying. In a way, I guess it is if you see like a shark going under you, like a really big one you weren't expecting. But they have you on either side of the seats, and the glass is in the bottom, and they have like they have a wall,
so
basically.
Your feet aren't on glass.
No. You're completely dry. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
But they have seats on either side of the boat. On the inside, you can see, and they have the center part. They have a wood box basically around the glass in the bottom of the boat, and you lean forward and you look at what's swimming underneath you.
I don't know, man. The ocean's a scary place.
I think that they kind of keep you kind of shallow. I don't think they take you out really, really deep.
Okay. Well, that has been Becca's dream vacation, going all the way from the north of Japan and working our way. Yep, and working our way all the way down to Okinawa. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. You know, we're gonna keep doing this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.